Okay, hello everyone. I'm quickly going to discuss the ticket machine if statement program memo with you guys. Okay, so in the calculate price button, it is very straightforward. We've got the instructions here. So the enter customer name, like I said, we are not using global variables, so we won't be actually entering the customer name. We're going to skip that step because we won't be needing this. If you enter it, it's no problem. Okay, so first we're gonna select the movie to watch, then according to the price, the first two movies is 50 rand, the next two movies is 60 rand, and then the last two movies is 70 rand. Okay, so how I extracted that, I used an if else statement basically. But it boils down to, in my first if statement, I've got if the combo box movies.item index is equal to 0, or if the CBO movies.item index equals 1. So that's going to be our first two. Then my price before discount is equal 50. So that's the price I just got here. And then times my number ticket spinner and the value out of that. So if it's 2, it will be 50 times 2 equals 100. Then if it's not that two movies, then otherwise begin and say if CBO movie.item index is 2, or if it's 3, then I'm just going to take my price before discount and take 60 times for my spinner the number of tickets dot value. Okay, so if it is not a 1 or 2, it's not 2 or 3, then if it's 4 or 5, then I'm just going to go price before discount equals 70 times the value of the spin edit of number tickets. Okay, then at the end I just throw this in. So at the very end, if it wasn't any one of those options, then obviously the user did not select a movie to watch, and then I just display a show message saying please select a movie to watch. When it came to the 5% discount, you had to use the radio buttons, so that's basically also just an if else statement. So if the radio button VIP yes dot checked, then begin by saying the price of tickets. So this is just a long way around, just to better explain what is happening. So then the price of tickets will become the price before discount that we got here at the above, minus, and then 5% of price before discount. And to get 5%, all you have to do is say price of whatever you want times, and then if it's 5%, it's times 0.05, it's 10%, 0.10, etc. Okay, and then just at the end, edt price of tickets.text is equal, and then just display maybe a rand symbol and then float to string price tickets. Okay, then else if it wasn't yes, then obviously you won't include any discount percentage, and you will just display your ticket price. Very straightforward. Okay, the menu snack type of thing. This is also basically the customer can place snacks orders on this page to see what the user wants and the quantity, then calculate the total for the food. So popcorn is 25, cool drink is 12 rand, Astra is 9 rand, coffee 10 rand. Okay, so right at the beginning, I'm just gonna make my snacks price. I made a double. So why a double and not an integer? Okay, so for money values you would always want a double. So in this case I've got nice round integers like 25, 12, but as soon as you begin using, let's say, 12.99, then you would want doubles. So if the price is just added, you don't want to go back and change everything, all the coding and stuff. You can just know if you change the price it's gonna work. Okay, so basically, yes, I changed snack price to 0, so I initialized it basically, And then I've got if statements for every single checkbox. Okay, reason being why I don't want an if else statement like the combo box and the radio buttons is I want at those two, the combo box and the radio buttons, you are supposed to only select one. So if it's frozen selected, you're going to do this. Else, if the notebook is selected, you want to do something else. Else, if Sonic is selected, you want to do something else, etc. So with the checkboxes, we want the user to select multiple, so they can select popcorn, they can select cool drinks, Astros, whatever they want to. So that's why we have individual if statements. So we're gonna go and see if the checkbox popcorn is checked, then we're just gonna take our snacks price and we're gonna add snacks price, so whatever it was, and then we just add the spinner popcorn dot value, so how many they want, the quantity. So if they selected 2 times 25, it will be 50, which is going to be placed into snacks price. Then we go to the next one, if checkbox cool drink dot checked, then we're going to take snack price and make it whatever it was, so it's at the moment 50, and then we just add, let's say, 1 cool drink. If it's spin cool drink value is 1 times 12, and we're going to add that to the 50, and then that will equate our new snacks price is 62, and so forth. It's going to continue with the next two Astros and coffee, and then at the right at the end we're just going to say, okay, EDT food price dot text, so just a normal display, have our rands there, float to string our snacks price. Okay, very straightforward again. Then we've got this feeling lucky button, so we just want to prompt the user enter a number between 0 and 50, and then we just want to see if it is a multiple of 3. If it is, the customer won a popcorn, otherwise just display an appropriate message. Okay, so first of all we're just gonna have a variable initialized like an integer. You can call it anything you want. I called mine custom num. Then I'm just gonna say is equal, I'm gonna go string to int, and I'm gonna get the text out of the edit lucky box. Okay, then next up I'm gonna have an if statement. So if the customer number mod 3, so if basically the customer number divided by 3 does not have a remainder equals 0, then I'm gonna just show message congratulations, you've won a free popcorn. Else, I'm just going to show a message, unfortunately you have not won anything this time. Okay, then with the slip, this is basically the tricky part. So this uses the reach edit display. So basically you just want to add all the information that the user or the customer has done in all the other buttons. You just want to display it here nicely in a nice summed up manner. So at the beginning I place red display.lines.clear. So what that's going to do, it's going to basically clear everything in the reach edit. Okay, make it a new blank page. Then what you can do there is multiple ways. There is a way that you can add most of this stuff in one line, especially the first 3. I'm going to show you 2 ways. The first way is to add let's say 2 lines to reach edit, but only coded in 1 line. So this is going to be our reach edit display.lines.add. Then I've got my first thing I want to say, so customer name is equal to edt customer name.text. So that's just going to have this displayed customer name, then is have a space, and then you just go extract the name out of the edit customer name edit box. Then if you say plus hashtag 13 plus, so that is going to basically have your reach edit, so it will look something like customer name, and then whatever, let's say just walk was in there, it's going to display that. If you have plus hashtag 13 plus, it's just going to basically go to the next line of the reach edit and display whatever comes after the plus. So then it's going to be movies, so right at the beginning we'll just have movie, and then whatever is in our combo box dot text. So if Frozen was selected, it's going to select Frozen too. Okay, That's one way of doing it. That's what hashtag 13 means. Okay, another one, just to refresh your memory, if you have a hashtag 9, so let's maybe just write it here. Hashtag 13 goes to next line, and hashtag 9 creates a tab. Okay, by tab what I mean is, if you replace this hashtag 13 with 9, it would just take customer name, say everything, then it would create like a space in between, and then it would just say the movie Frozen 2. So that's just basically tabbing it and then displaying the next information. But like I said, hashtag 13 goes to a next line. Okay, then what I did here is, if you want to add another line, you just go and say reach edit display .lines.add, and you display your next set of information. Okay, yeah, I just went to see if the radio button VIP is checked. So instead of having, it's exactly the same coding as I did in the first button, but here instead of calculating a price, you just display a VIP card yes or VIP card no. Then at the middle, I've got my reach edit display lines.add, then the price of tickets, and I just extracted the price of tickets out of the price of tickets edit box.text. Then what I did is I left a blank line, so I just basically said red display .lines.add, and I left my quotes blank, so that just creates a empty line or a spacing between the next set of words. Okay, then I just displayed snacks. I had again same if system as I used in the second button, where you just go check if the popcorn is checked. If it is checked, okay, so this is a bit more complicated, but it's the same for all of the snacks menu items. Is just go and say red display.lines.add, then you just display popcorn times, so how many, and then I went to further and said okay, into string, so convert the spin edit popcorn dot value into a string. So if it was 2, then it would just say popcorn times 2. And then I just plus a rand symbol, leave a space open, and then just go actually work out the price again of how many popcorns they want times the price of popcorn. Okay, so that is basically for all the buttons. It's just that line of code, but the spin edits are changed and the rand value at the end will differ. Okay. Then lastly, I've got my reach edit display .lines.add, the snacks total, so that I also just got out of the edt food price.text. I've got my, okay, then to work out basically the two prices, because you have to create a grand total. So what I did was I went and created two variables of double type, snacks and tick. So then I just said okay, so snacks is okay, let me begin here. So I copied from the second position in edt food price.text. So that is basically in my edt food price there is r space, and then you've got the value basically, or the price. So what I did is I basically just cut off the R and the space, and I started with the next double, whatever. Then I just converted that string to a float, so just to make it a number that I can actually add together. I did the same with the ticket price, also just string to float, so I converted the string to a float. Then I copied out of edt price of ticket, starting at the second line, so again cutting off the R and the space of rand. And then at the end I just said red display lines.add, again a hashtag 13 to mean go to the next line, then plus the grand total, and then just display your snacks plus tick, float to string that. And that is basically all for this program. Yes, straightforward. Thank you.